The year is 2013, and it's the night of the MTV Video Music Awards. It's been a raucous night of entertainment. Formerly relevant culture vulture Miley Cyrus channeled her inner Madonna and decided to sexually assault irrelevant wife disappointer Robin Thicke, proving once and for all that two wrongs do make a right. Justin Timberlake performed an unnecessarily long 15-minute medley of 12 of his songs before being presented with the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, which makes a lot of sense considering that Justin was probably his type. And of course Drake was there, starting his performance, missing the bottom of his own head before finding it around the same time he found the auto-tune button. He then attempted to perform Started from the Bottom despite several fans literally trying to stop him. It was worth a try. And as you can see, Rihanna was visibly loving Drake's performance. Birdman was in the audience and apparently showing the cameras exactly how much of Drake's royalties he would be keeping from this song. Macklemore was there performing his famous P. Diddy tribute song, Same Love. And let's not forget, this was famously the same year that Macklemore robbed Kendrick Lamar of both the Grammy for Best Album and Best Video at this VMAs. But it would turn out that this wouldn't be the only snub that Kendrick would be getting that night. In the famous words of R. Kelly, after the party, it's the after party. And after the after party, it's being imprisoned in my sex dungeon. I mean, it's the hotel lobby. And when it comes to after party, what could possibly be more lit than a P. Diddy Ciroc party? Well, a joint party between P. Diddy and Jay-Z, sponsored by Ciroc and Douce. Diddy was using this VMA's after party to launch his new flavor of Ciroc, Amaretto. And today in 2019, Ciroc actually has 10 different flavors. This includes the French Montana-inspired French Vanilla, the Jeremy Scott-designed Moschino edition, and of course the limited edition Shine-inspired Ciroc Vintage, which has been aged in a cage for 10 years and completely destroys your vocal cords.
It's trash.
Anywho, this event was a who's who of heavy hitters and heavy hitties. This included fellow Diddy punching bag Drake, Chris Brown punching bag Rihanna, and of course punching bag for children aged 3 to 5 Kevin Hart. Apparently drinks were flowing, banter was flying, and everyone was having a good time. Drake was supposedly singing to a table that included Jay-Z and Beyonce, apparently causing even more discomfort to a nearby Rihanna. Macklemore was there, pictured here with Rita Ora, or as my jealous ex-girlfriend would call her, Rita Hora. Macklemore holding a bottle of water there, which I assume he also stole from Kendrick Lamar. But tensions started to rise at this party when reportedly Diddy started ripping on Kendrick for his controversial verse on the song Control. Remember Control? Well, 2 weeks before this event, on August 14th, 2013, the most generic rapper in the game, Big Sean, released a song called Control. No disrespect to Big Sean, but he is essentially the rapper that you get if you play Def Jam Icon and create a character leaving all of the settings on default. Anyway, I'm hesitant to call this Big Sean song because despite the fact that Big Sean was the headline artist featuring Jay Electronica and Kendrick basically took over the whole show with an incredible 3-minute verse. Big Sean actually removed this song from his album partly because he didn't want to be overshadowed by Kendrick and also partly because of some uncleared sample issues. But to be fair, if Big Sean's worried about his career being overshadowed by Kendrick Lamar, he should have quit rapping 10 years ago and taken that job as Kanye's executive car wash. So unless you've been living under a rock for the past 10 years, you'll know that Kendrick Lamar used his verse on Control to basically call out 11 of the biggest rappers in the game and basically say that he's out to destroy their careers and make them irrelevant. And whilst doing this, he essentially puts himself up there with the greats alongside Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem, and Andre 3000. So in case you didn't actually catch that verse, let's do a quick roll call of everybody that he called out. Big Sean?
Here.
J. Cole?
Here.
Big Crit?
Crit is here.
Wale?
Here, you know what I'm saying?
Pusha T?
Out here.
Mac Miller?
It's just me and Macklemore out here.
Alright Mac, save the attitude. Meek Mill?
Right here.
Tyler the Creator?
Standing right here.
Alright Tyler, sit down. Jay Electronica.
Here.
Drake? I know you've been here for ages.
I was here when there were no walls.
ASAP Rocky? Now this verse basically set the hip-hop scene on fire. Kendrick Lamar's social media following increased 5-fold in the days following, and many rappers, including those mentioned, as well as those that didn't but just wanted some clout, crawled out of the woodwork and started giving their responses. Now I could waste your time and compile all of the responses to this verse, but I think it's a lot easier to just let Kendrick sum it up for you.
How you feeling about all the comebacks lately from your Control verse?
You gotta try harder.
But in addition to all of these name drops, Kendrick Lamar also dropped a line in the song where he claimed to be the King of New York, despite being from California. Now the crown of King of New York has always been a contentious issue amongst rappers. The idea of there being a King of New York was immortalized forever by the 1990 film of the same name, which starred Christopher Walken as Frank White, a name that has been used by several rappers, including the Notorious B.I.G. over the years. In fact, many rappers have claimed to be the king of their respective territory and often face violent retribution as a result. Jay-Z and Nas famously fought over the crown of King of New York for many years in a beef that a lot of people thought would end in bloodshed. Young Dolph was famously shot at 100 times after claiming to be the king of Memphis, though he eventually settled for the king of Dolphland. And of course, young DiCaprio was famously killed by an iceberg after claiming to be king of the world aboard the Titanic. Diddy and Jay-Z had quite a classy response to these claims of being king of New York, essentially sharing this image and keeping it moving. And even K-Dot knew not to mess with the big dogs. But jump from here, 2 weeks into the future, back to the VMAs party, and we'll see that it's not all love between Kendrick and Diddy. So, we're back in the club, VMA's after party, 2 weeks after Kendrick dropped his controversial Control verse and tensions in hip-hop are high. We're a few hours into Diddy's after party and bottles of Ciroc and Douce are flowing. Diddy's girlfriend Cassie is front and center with a massive golden goblet of Ciroc with her name on it. Guess that was a good investment, eh Diddy? So legend has it that at some point a drunken P. Diddy got close to Kendrick whilst in the club. And at this point, Diddy confronted Kendrick about his King of New York line. If you remember, in 2012, exiled rapper Shine famously said that Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City album was trash in his deep, raspy voice.
It's trash.
Kendrick actually responded to this comment on the J. Cole produced track The Jig Is Up by also channeling his inner Shine and saying, "J. Cole, your shit is trash." Sorry, I just like doing the voice. Anyway, this confrontation developed and apparently Diddy tried to pour Ciroc on Kendrick's head. Now, I'm not sure if this was a joke or a provocation, but I don't know why Kendrick got so mad. I mean, we all know from the song Swimming Pools that he loves headshots. So at some point after Diddy had tried to mix a butterfly, J. Cole decided to step in and have some stern words with Diddy. Now, it's unclear exactly what J. Cole said to Diddy, but according to media outlets, two things were said. Firstly, apparently J. Cole said something disrespectful about Cassie. Secondly, apparently J. Cole made a comment that seemed to suggest that Diddy was responsible for the murders of Biggie and Tupac, and essentially saying that the reason rappers can't be competitive now is because if they are, Diddy will have them killed. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Now, I can't confirm whether any of that's true, whether some of it is partly true, or whether the entire thing is fake news. But what is corroborated by several different stories is that this confrontation and this scuffle did indeed go down. One of the more credible sources is the appropriately named Punch, who is the president of Kendrick Lamar's TDE record label. Though he doesn't say exactly what went down or who it went down between, but it does corroborate that something that we all know went down happened at this party. Now, according to the many sources out there, it didn't take long for these disrespectful words to turn into fists, and boy howdy, does it sound like this fight was a sight to behold. Apparently, for a while, J. Cole was actually getting the better of Diddy, whilst Jay-Z himself was stepping in, trying to split them up, all while a hysterical Beyonce is nearby screaming. But after 90 seconds of steamy man-on-man action, security managed to split up the fight and J. Cole was swiftly ejected from the venue. After things cooled down, apparently Diddy grabbed the mic and said, "It's all cool, y'all keep having fun, it's no big deal, it's over." I'm assuming that he also added, "Can't stop, won't stop." Reportedly, Jay-Z and Beyonce then left the venue furious, especially considering the fact that J. Cole is a Roc Nation signee. In the aftermath of this scuffle, both sides moved into damage control very quickly. Reportedly, everybody that was there was told to delete images and videos of the fight going down.
And allegedly, there was footage that people were forced to delete.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yeah, there was footage about this.
And the next day, Diddy denied the whole thing, lying, saying that nothing happened. J. Cole didn't outright deny it, but he did say that anyone will believe anything, well, especially if it's true. And one of J. Cole's friends came out on Twitter and publicly denied it, saying that everybody had their facts wrong, whilst also failing to provide any facts or insights of his own. Clout chasing to the highest degree. Interestingly, 2 months later, in a candid backstage video that appeared on Diddy's Revolt TV, we seem to see a friendly moment between Diddy and J. Cole that swiftly develops into a fake fight where Diddy pretends to beat up J. Cole in an apparent light-hearted reference to what supposedly went down. But Diddy infamously appeared on The Breakfast Club a few years later and seemed to confirm the fact that all of the altercations are 100% true in reference to this, the fight with J. Cole, also slapping Drake, and the kettlebell incident at his son's school.
All those things that happened in the past, they all 100% true.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot of gossip out there, but there's essentially no hard evidence that this thing actually happened. I'm just giving you all of the info and you can make up your mind for yourself.